Hey YouTube, how are you all doing? Lego Leprechaun here guys again, and today we're going to actually do a city update. Well, what's left of it. I'm going to get to that in a bit guys. But first of all, before we get kicking, I just want to thank everybody massively for all your lovely positive comments on the Back Cave and Wayne Manor. Guys, I really appreciate it. It's just such a buzz, you know, when you put something out that you've been at for a while, and you know, it's been so long since I did put something out that I was actually questioning my confidence even in what I was doing. And you know, when I eventually put the cave and the manor out, and suddenly I just saw all the comments underneath it and the likes and subscriptions, guys, I have to say, like, absolutely overwhelmed. So I just really thank you so much for that. And for the people that have been subscribed all along, for all the thumbs up, and for the people that newly subscribed there within the last week, again guys, massive thanks. And thanks for the Instagrams as well, like the Instagrammers, for the thumbs up, and the followers, the new followers, you know. So really appreciate it, you know. So let's get to it. The city. I was going to do an update a while back, alright, like on just the table itself, and I said I better do something at least before I actually do just blank wood. So what I started with, guys, here, and it just took probably the last week or so even getting this much done. If you'd seen my last city update a good few months back, 9 months back at this point I suppose, you would have seen the square, and that square would have been the other way around with the modulars. I can't even remember the order they were in at the time, but I decided to change it, so I brought the table right back to the wood, took everything off it, because I want to, what I call, I suppose, upgrade it and maybe take it up a level, you know. And what I mean by that, literally, as well as the skill of it as well, you know. And what I mean even more by that is that when you look at most cities, guys, and if you do a bit of research or whatever, you'll see that, you know, more than likely a lot of them will have a canal running through them, or some kind of water. Secondly, you have kind of different levels, and you have bridges and you have valleys and stuff like that. Now, we love the modulars, but they mainly come standard on a 16 by 16. So I want to start introducing, you know, a few more little tweaks, where we can bring in some alleyways, some different levels in the city regarding the height of your buildings. And I'm going to sweep down through the table there and show you the mess for one, but show you the different levels as well that I'll be bringing in. And starting here with the square, as you can see, look, we actually have a level there where we have a step up from the prison restaurant, detective's office, and then straight up to one of the pet shops, I don't know why, and a small bit of a mock on the top. Up the top then, as you can see, and that's the highest point, is the town square. That the apartment here, I won't be keeping that there. I'll be doing another birch books over here. It won't be called birch books obviously, but I like that design of the birch with the grey in it. It kind of runs straight in across the actual town hall and then down the other side. So I will move that, and I'll tell you what I'll be doing with those later. And then again we sweep across here, just slightly lower with the assembly squares, it's just running down. And as you can see then, sorry now for the low focus, and then we're coming down here to the Palace Cinema at the corner. Now guys, the whole idea of this is that I first of all brought the ground level up, okay, by a brick. So I got the simple base plate that you get your modulars on, normal green or road plate or whatever, it's the same thing, spaced out any size kind of brick in it. And then the square itself I had done on 6 standard base plates, that the modular size 32 by 32 that you see the modulars on. And that square was fairly much built with the fountain in the middle. Sorry. So what I done was, I know now people hate hearing this, like, but I sliced them so I could get the water into the middle. And in doing so, you have the height of the actual the square already brought up by a brick, which means that when you bring in water, especially into the city, you can drop the water level then, so it looks genuine. It looks like a real city where the water is lower than the actual ground level itself. And where I made that mistake would have been in the Japanese village, where it's not lower. it's actually higher, you know, the water's higher than the footpaths. Now you wouldn't notice it by much, but it's still higher, and I don't like that. So I said, I'm going to take this back to the actual drawing board, and we're going to increase the standard height up by a brick of ground level. That's what brings me straight away to the roads. Now guys, I built a sample here of what's called a mills plate, and you'll see, and once you type in how to build road mills plates, you'll see plenty of descriptions and plenty of videos up there, and there's some great tutorials out there. But they're not that hard to build, but they are quite consuming regarding the Lego. Now, as in the amount of Lego. I don't want to use the standard road plates that were out already, up till the new road plates that just came out anymore. I don't, because they're flat. You can't get any height. You can't put a proper manhole into it. You can put anything into this. Now the Lego here is literally, it's a wall, and then it's put down on its side. You can put whatever lines you want into it depending on what country you're in. I just did a kind of a quick fix here, and I just have 2 yellow lines, because in Ireland we normally have a single yellow line or a double yellow line or a white. So I was just playing around with the different colours, and we have a double white in the middle, or a single white, or a broken white. There's tons of different rules of the road, as you know. So I just did a standard build here, just so I would actually, like, there will be a road like this running all the way up here, and that suits the height of the square. It all blends, you know. And then the road dips lower, of course, because you have a curb, so it dips lower than the actual path level itself. The way I heightened up the square here is just brought up the blocks and then put links in here, so the actual, or not the square, excuse me, the actual modulars. And when I bring this up to it, obviously you see this here, so I'll be bringing a wall along there and dropping it down. So you'll have 5 plates or tiles wide still on your footpath. So yeah guys, I just wanted to definitely increase the I call it, I suppose, look, the skill of the city is the way I'd put it. You know, when you build most of the stuff yourself from the ground up, and I mean from the road plates to, we say, the city square, the modulars fit nicely, you know, but I eventually want to even start bringing in maybe 1 or 2 of my own buildings down the road, you know. So with this, guys, straight away you can put anything, as I said, into it. Manhole, roadworks, you can take out whatever bricks. I had a few, where are they? These here now, you know, you can bring them in straight away. And with them, like, once you bring them in with a small little 1 flat stud here in the middle of them, you have the perfect circle, and you can use that as a manhole. Now if you're into anything superhero wise, you could have the turtles coming up out of that. You could show some water running in between it, whatever you like. You could take out, we'd say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bricks. You could put a few orange cones around it. You could have roadworks van here, and you could have a few pipes running. It's brilliant, the details you can put on these. And there's a few lads out there with cities, and they have them in it, and they're absolutely beautiful, you know. So I plan on bringing all these in, and even at that, I'll be bending them, you know. So that's the standard plate, and they'll be fine for running across the front here. So now we're going to bring you up to the crap heap and show you the rest of it, right? So as you can see here, there's the cave. I was showing you that last week, swing across. Now lads, excuse the bomb dive. I had to strip it back, and there's modulars and bags and everything you can think of out here, but that's just the process, you know yourself, lads, when you're actually changing things around, or you're building a certain, like, I've been stuck on this trying to get the heights and stuff like that, and yet I had to go through all of these things. I am doing down here, which I'll be doing another detailed video on, is Crime Alley, and it's right next to Arkham. So I'll be doing the Crime Alley, for anyone that doesn't know, is where Batman's parents were killed, and it's just muggy and dirty and everything you could possibly think of. So there's a whole alley going to be built down there, starting, if you can see, the smooth pathway comes around here, and as it goes around the back of the building it starts getting dirty and filthy, and that's the way it's going to run right down the back here. And I'm building that road again, like this one here, on its side. So it's just a tiny sample. Alright, you can put any colour you want in this now as well. So it goes down there, and the snot brick on the side here, they're the actual the brick with the studs on the side, and you can literally stick the wall that you build, what I call a wall, literally, which is going to be a road. You can stick it onto it, and straight away you can put cracks in it, you can put dimples in it, you can put different colours in it, like it's a stain coming out of a hole or whatever. And that's the way I'm going to run that road, broken up and dirty. There'll be bins, there'll be crime from whatever you can think of. I'm going to probably have a few of the villains Batman's parents being killed, the whole shebang. And Batman, as you know, Bruce Wayne, when he was a kid, came out of the actual theatre with his mother and father, and then decided to take a walk up Crime Alley to get to their car. Parents were shot. So, because I'm a big Batman fan, as you know from what you just saw last week, I want to bring this element in here. And it's just right next to Arkham as well, which just brings that whole dark element in on one side of the city. So yeah, so that'll be that. And again, I love the idea of the road being built on the side because I can put all the details in here. It really can be cool. So that's what we're going to be going with. And as you can see here, lads, the mess. Now, the haunted houses down at the end, I'll get to in a second. But basically here, I just want to say what I'm going to be doing from the other side of the square. We're going to come out here on the other side. And like you see the step formation here, this is a good example here now, guys, where you can see the rise in the different modulars from the back. Literally build up the heights you want. And the modular plate, obviously 32 studs by 32, and the modular will just sit, the plate itself sits nicely down on top of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have here, we're going to have another step formation of modulars going up there towards the Emporium, okay? And there'll be a slightly higher step as they go up, and the last one will land not on that piece of wood itself, just back a little bit off it, just before it. In front of those modulars, they'll be facing this way, obviously. And in front of those, I'm going to actually bend a road right up here onto the back section of wood up there. It's going to run along the back, the wood, over here into this area. Alright, I'll explain what I'm going to do in that area in a minute. But getting back to it here, as I said, those modulars are existing there. We'll have another set of modulars here. More than likely these buildings here, because you can step them up in step formation. Where I live in Ireland, I live right down the south in a small place called Cove. And there's a big cathedral there, and on the side of that cathedral there's supposed to be a famous row of houses called the deck of houses, the deck of card houses. And it's just literally a stack of houses running down like a deck of cards, and the road is running in front of it. So I'm just giving some kind of a reference to that here. And in front of the road, then I'm going to have a nice river coming out, and what you saw running through the square, the water will go in and underneath that area, and it's going to draw out here towards the edge. Now this area here, I haven't decided what I'm going to put in here. I know my road is going to come literally from there all the way up. It's going to come around the modulars facing this way. It's going to run up here in the hill. It's going to go along the back, and we're going to head towards those haunted houses, which are not going to be there. And again, I'll come to that in 2 seconds. We'll also have a road that's going to come straight here, and it's going to come all the way along here, and we're heading towards the cave. Now the entrance out of the cave, as you can see, is here. It goes right in there. So we're going to have a road go in underneath that, and we'll have a rock kind of around it. And you just literally, the back comes out. Now it's traffic that'll go in. His entrance out onto the main road isn't here, it's going to be in there, you know. So by the way, you're not going to see him enter the road, but yet he comes out this way in his car. This area here, as I said, I'm not too sure. I will get to it. I know I'll get to it. And that's the thing. You can't be too sure. You might have an idea, but you can't be too sure. Unless you're one of these people that sits down and draws things out perfectly and then says, right, that's it, I'm doing it. In my case, I did have to come out. I had to think a lot about what it is that I wanted to do and look at this upside down, inside out, and say, right, I got 3/4 of it in my head as to where I want to go with it. And I want to upgrade the level of building as well to the actual Mills Plate Road. The square is hired. All these areas here are going to be different levels, and we'll have step formations of houses and rock and water and all the different things you can think of to really make the city tasty, you know. The houses here, guys, quick history. Last Halloween, first of all, I built that haunted house here, as you can see. I built that probably over a year ago now, or maybe about 11 months ago, and that was the actual original haunted house that came out in 2012, and I missed it. So I downloaded the instructions and I put my own taste on it. You'll see it in some of the videos back there on YouTube a year ago or whatever. So I built that, but I loved the house. So then I decided to build another one, like a log cabin, and I have a scene in front of most of them. So that's kind of like a teen slasher, you know. So I put it, so you have everything in there from bones and skulls and everything you can think of. And the haunted house on the left, kind of I kept with the same theme where all the foliage around it rotted, and we've The Walking Dead along with the vampires. And then this one was, as you know, the modern one that comes for the fun fair, which is a beautiful house, but I just put it in the corner because it's the tallest. And then I decided to go off on a tangent and make another one, and this is kind of more Freddy Krueger and Carrie from back in the 70s and 80s that I put in there, with a load of pumpkins running around it, and a poor old cheerleader hanging upside down dead. And then I done a kind of a theme from the hidden side. And look, it's a mess. I mean, I had a scene, I have the road and everything out in front of it, and I was hell bent on keeping the whole haunted scene here in the corner. But the more I thought about it, it's not where I want to go. It takes up too much room. I will put one of the haunted houses, maybe two at a push, somewhere in there if I can in the city. But for now, I'm just going to pull them eventually, which just brings me back a little bit. Sorry, now we just lens out, guys. Sorry. So you can see the cave here. All right. We have the entrance out from the car itself, which is there. But up here, we're coming out here from the manor. As you can see there, there's an entrance, and we're going to come out. Literally, all this area here. I'm going to build a huge rock mountain, and the actual drive will come out and down the mountain. I'll bend the road like I had done in the actual manor estate itself. It's going to come down here to the corner, and then from the corner, it's going to run down here in a slope, down to about here where that tractor is. Okay, and that'll be the entrance into Wayne Manor. At the back of that, guys, at the back, I'm going to put 3 huge peaked mountains. Huge. And we're going to put water on the other side of the Manor Drive. Here, a little bit of a pond. We're going to have trees. Probably the idea is the tree house. And the mountains are going to be so tall that there'll be rock climbing. It'll be a park. That's what I'm going to do here. Now, that'll be a while down the road, guys. You know, I was talking to you there the last time about all the cave rock. Big expense and all that rock and all that grey. So the mountains will be the same because they'll be going up about the same height. I will be bringing them right up, at least over the height of that haunted house in the corner. So I'll be doing that, and we will bring that road over here and into that. Now there's still more I can talk about, but what it is I'm going to do on the way to that, but I just don't want to get too ahead of myself because you can barely identify the table at this stage to be able to see anything really properly, you know, of what's to come. So yeah, guys, so that's just a kind of a rundown. As I said, excuse the mess, but look, this is the whole process, isn't it? With Lego, you build, you're happy for a few years, then suddenly you get a fit and you wreck it all, and you want to upgrade, or you want to improve, or you want to do what it is that you want to do to make things better for yourself, or just even for change. And that's the beauty about Lego, isn't it? You can just change it all the time. But there's definitely no doubt about it, guys. There is a skill in it. And I did notice as I go on for the last few years, one, I have a massive passion for it, so I just love doing it. And I do notice like that if you work at it hard enough, you can get really tasty, like with the building, which I still have a lot to learn with, like, you know. And I learned a lot, I suppose, from the cave as well. It taught me a lot about the rock work and stuff like that, which I will be doing a video on. I'll just take a quick sweep. I'm preparing here a small little station so I can sit with the camera on the table facing as well into the cave. And what I'll be doing is I'll be doing certain areas that I'll be identifying in the cave, and I'll be doing a rock tutorial on that and how I built those areas. So we'll be talking about maybe the horizontal plates, we'll be talking about some of the stalagmites here maybe, or how I got the high rock here with the longer slope as opposed to the actual sorry now for the lighting, as opposed to the small detailed rock in there. So I'll be bringing a video out on that, guys, at the end of this week, actually, you know. So I do have another rock tutorial up, and I looked at it, and a lot of what I was going to say in this one I had said in that one, and it's been so long since I looked back at my own YouTube videos, so I just had to alter a few things around for a kind of a part 2. So I'll be doing that. So hopefully you're interested in that, guys. It's just sharing some of the ideas of what's gone into the cave, and a lot of what's there in the cave will be coming along here. There'll be a lot of rock, as you can see these areas here, the gaps and stuff, that'll all be rock faced, you know. So I'm bringing in that kind of mountainous look, and kind of a re-look to the city with different levels, with water, high ground, low ground, everything you can think of. So yeah, guys, that's it again. Everything there. Any questions, pump them all out there in the comments. I'll be looking at all of them. I know it's not much to actually like at the moment, but if you do like it, by all means throw a thumbs up, and thanks again, guys, for everything. As I said, really appreciate it. All the comments, overwhelmed, guys. A lot of gratification for it. So yeah, till the next video, Lego Leprechaun out.